Welcome to season 2 of Sex, Lies, and Blank Pages.
We did it, girls. We made it.
I'm so
We're still
excited.
here.
We didn't get canceled yet, so let's have a banger this time. Start off
I
on the
know.
right
We
foot.
clearly have to try harder now because, like, like that was a
Yeah.
goal. Come on.
It was. We have to reach the bar now. Come on. Yeah. So let's do an update of the summer and then we're going to talk about blocking readers. Right?
Indeed,
Yeah.
we
Stop
are.
listening to us right now. We're blocking you.
Yeah. So high
Uh,
highs and low lows of the summer, maybe?
oof.
Do you want to
You
start?
really want? Oh, you really want to go there with me right now?
Yeah.
I have to admit, it's been a struggle for high highs. My low
No.
lows. Yeah, well, I mean, besides my almost losing my dad twice, I was
Yeah.
visiting him, and when I came back, my dog went straight into intensive care with kidney disease.
Mhm.
So my high is he's still with me. That,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
every day getting to spend more time with him. But I realize I am not a caregiver. Like that
Yeah.
is not a natural thing with me, even though like I'm trying to absorb every moment and going, okay, because this dog is not just a dog. Like this guy
Mhm.
is like, he's my kid, like
Yeah.
my partner, he's every day, he's with me
Mhm.
in the highs and lows. Like, so
Every time I see
he-
you, whenever we are
yeah,
together, I get to see more pictures. So he is your
yeah.
fur
I mean,
baby. Yeah.
he is my, and I hate when people are like, I hate when you call him for berries. He is my
He's a fur
kid.
baby.
Like, so to keep him alive as long 2 months after I thought I was going to lose him has been the high, but
Mhm.
in that being a caregiver, which is not a natural state of mind for me, and getting up at like 5 a.m. just to write, because once
Mhm.
he's up, it's feedings 4 to 5 times a day, it's IVs, it's medicate, so it's like a
Yeah.
constant. So I can't say this summer's been the best, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things on the horizon, and the fact we're back together, I've missed you guys
Yes.
so much. So hopefully
Same.
there'll be good things coming in this year.
Yes, there will
So
be. And I have missed you guys so much too.
Yes.
I've had some high highs. I went to Greece. I went to California, had great book signings. It was wonderful. A great book signing in New York. Picked up a cold, had to cancel the Vegas book signing, came home and lost my YouTube account of 100,000 followers that I've had for 8 years. Yeah, because I had my audiobooks on there. And apparently, romance books are unsafe for the 18 plus community. They are
wait, wait,
marked.
wait.
They
But other people can put them up there
Oh
for
yeah,
you and be
there's
listening
Legally.
to them,
right now
robbing that
there.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So it wasn't something intuitively that I would have known because my books have
No,
been, copyright infringed and put on there like so many
yeah.
times. So I thought it was fine. And then when they immediately permanently ban your account with no way of contact or any way to talk to anybody. So it's gone forever. But silver lining, now I know like how much a platform like that is worth. And my team was amazing, instantly picked it up and kept moving. So I'm just riding the high highs and like everything. Like I feel like I'm coming into my power this fall and like I'm just excited for all of the good things. So I'm ready to speak so loud that I get canceled. It's going to be fun.
And you're taking me with you. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
let's do it. Yeah. On for the
I'm just so
ride.
tired right now. I'm like, okay, let's go. Sure. Well, let's
Yeah.
get right into it. Like a big
Yes.
hot topic right now is, can readers cancel authors, or authors cancel readers? Like in the sense
Yeah.
of, blocking them on social
Mhm.
media. Both ways, I think we should talk about.
Yeah. So the question is like, do you think it's okay for an author to block readers? That
Yeah.
is apparently a question right now, which I think is asinine. I think that's a stupid question to even ask. Of course, a human being can block another human being. Our mental health matters. We are, in fact, human beings. It doesn't matter. Like if somebody wants to say, no, 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 you should have known, or no, 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 if you, we have a right to tell. No, you don't. Full
Yeah.
stop. No, you don't. Like, I have been told to go kill myself every other minute on Instagram because somebody posted lies about me on TikTok. And they're all in message requests. These are people that don't know me. I instantly block. Like, I am at a place in my life where I have grace for a lot of people. Like the younger generation, the people in their 20s, fear is a top motivator in their behavior. 25% of men from 18 to 25, 25% have never approached a woman. They have added a new tier to the suicide, like all of the suicide data, including 5-year-olds. Fear is a very strong motivator for them. And also the idea of you needing to make a change and we need to change, we need to change. But when you're motivated by fear, you're often acting in bad faith. So I can acknowledge that perhaps the motivation behind some actions comes from a miseducation, a misinformation, that, if there was a good faith conversation, it wouldn't occur like this. I can acknowledge that while saying, right now you're at a place in your life that I'm not at. Right now you're acting in a way that I don't think that is reflective of your personality or who you want to be. However, my mental health matters, and I'm going to wish you the best and block you for good. And if life brings us back together, what a wonderful thing. I hope we're both better people in better places of our life. And if it doesn't, so be it. And that is my take on blocking people, whether you're a reader, an author, or anybody the fuck else. Like, your mental health matters.
What about the argument? No,
Go
I
for it.
finally know the
Devil's
answer to
advocate.
Yes,
this.
come on, stir it up the pot. Yeah.
What about the argument that it is when you like, it is an author, you are tagged in a post, and then you block said reader because it offended you or it upset you or it hurt your feelings, which again, you are human. But then they argue that you came into their reader space.
The fuck you
No.
did. No, full stop.
No,
Go ahead,
they
Stacey, you
tagged
can
me.
take this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just stirring up the
tag-
controversy.
Yeah.
If they tag you, that's bringing you into their space. That is me be innocently going about my day and being thrown into your, I don't like your book. I don't like you, whatever it is. I did not ask for that. And, you have that opinion. You have that right to say that. That's fine. We are not saying that you don't. We're saying, do not pull me by that tag to bring me into your space, because
And if you do, we can block you. Like, I think that it's also asinine when they say, well, I spent money on your book and therefore you owe me an explanation of this or what. Like, I don't owe you bought a book. I owe you the same thing that the fucking bracelet seller owes you when you buy it at Kohl's. Nothing. Like, if you want a refund, you can get a refund. Go through Amazon or email customer service. Like, you don't it's a business exchange. When you're posting something on social media that is inherently moral or emotionally inciting, then it's human to human.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, and I think of also on what you're saying, the fear. I think there's a lot of being raised in, and I don't entitlement, because I think a lot of things this generation's been raised on social media, which we were not. We had to face to face. We had bullies had to actually bully somebody, truly in the face. But
I feel sorry for them that all of this is recorded. Like, I can't imagine. But keep
and they
going.
say the internet is forever, and there's screenshots. Everybody takes screenshots.
I think there's a lot of entitlement, especially if they feel wronged, or if they read your book that didn't like. They feel like they almost like, you deserve to hear my words. You deserve to be taken down because I'm mad at you. And we don't. There's there's been a million times I've gone to, let's say, a coffee shop, and I just didn't like the coffee, like it wasn't sweet enough for me or whatever. And you just deal with it. Do you, throw it back in the, the person that made its face and be like, you deserve that, no.
Some people fucking do, because they're insane.
True.
So,
but, I do feel artists are treated, authors, music, mostly it seems like authors, but artists are treated a lot different. It's kind of like, it deserves to be free. I don't, I should either, pirate this or, find it free somewhere, or you deserve to, hear my words, and my words above everybody else's is more important than somebody that's, I hate the people that, like, I remember one review was just like, all these people were saying like lovely things, and then somebody's like, oh no, let me tell you. And, and she came and started ripping me apart. And I'm like, what makes you think your opinion is above anybody else's?
Or that that's necessary or kind or appropriate. Like, it's just not okay to treat somebody like that. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion. You can make a whole post about it, but going to the person who created it and intentionally being mean to them, like, there's just no space in a good faith world for that action. Like, so of course you should. The kindest thing that I can do sometimes is to block people. Another author just today posted on Facebook that she had a cover reveal. She was doing new covers for her books, and she posted a screenshot of all of the comments from readers. I preferred your abs, or these are shitty. Somebody else said
I
boo.
saw that.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
just like what in what world would you show up to like a paint gallery or something to somebody's like they're having a whole gallery and a party and being like, this one's shit. Like, in what mental state are you? But again, I do think it goes back to mental health. Right now, our society is like, we're getting ready for election year. Things are fucking crazy. We've come out of COVID acknowledging that 50% of the populace has PTSD and mental health is still stigmatized. You have an entire younger generation that is rightfully kind of enraged for fucking being born at this time, like, which was not their choice. And people are taking things out on other people. And I can acknowledge, hey, this is a time in your life where you're treating people where I don't think a later version of you will think this is okay, but the current version of me is very much at peace blocking and moving
what
on.
is that? And what is that high? Maybe when you're older, you get over that and it gets less like, I want less drama in my life. I want less, but that youngness of getting almost off, like a high off of being cruel.
Well, your brain is still developing. So it is. You are getting that urge.
It's like that mass mentality too, of like, that somebody will start it and then they all want to jump in like, oh, this is fun. We're doing this together. And it's so sad that we do this with hate, not kindness.
I think there's two parts to that. The first is with TikTok and then other social media platforms kind of like piling on what TikTok did. Negativity gets views. So you're getting the likes, the follows, the pats on the back just for like moralizing and getting on this like this moral high, which can stem from fucking nothing. You're doing mental loops, like you're trying to pull at something. You're reaching in order to make something a mental issue so that you can get pats on the backs and likes and follows. And then the other part of it is, they haven't lived through the impact of having that done to them. And they haven't lived through the consequence of what they're specifically doing to that other person. Like in school, and again, I know that I'm very much like wanting to see these people as youthful, but it's because I do want to give grace. And in school, like when you get into it with somebody, they'll just separate you. That doesn't occur in real life. The other person still, like, they still have to live their life. You're still going to have to see them more than likely if you go to like a signing together or something like, and then you have to remember, oh yeah, I was like a real big bitch to that person. Like, what did they do again?
That actually happened to Stacey.
Yeah, it's happened to me too.
Have you had that person that totally like went off and like, kind of got a little personal, and then you see them at an event and they come up to your table and you're like, I'm sorry. Like, I do not like fake people. You don't like, you're going to attack me for clicks and baits. Then you better be like that in real life. Like in the sense of like, I'm not going to.
They probably hope that you didn't see it. I imagine that a lot of these
tagged her. They tagged her.
Oh my God.
So it's even like, are you a moron? Like, I've never been one for like, if that's, like, I hate fakeness. Like if you're doing that just for clicks and likes, and then you expect that we're going to be buddies behind the scenes, fuck off. Like, no. So, I mean, that whole, like, yes, we have a right for mentally, like, especially we're human beings. Why people forget that, I don't know. But to block,
they want to feel entitled,
like
but they're like, but you got money, and it's like, so does everybody. Everybody gets money in some kind of way. You can't go into McDonald's and call somebody a whore and toss a drink on them because your McDouble wasn't hot. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, now I'm not going to go into McDonald's and call
yo whore.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's absolutely crazy though, how people will go online and suddenly the way that they treat a human being is completely different from how they would in real life.
What about
you
the
hope
argument?
So. God,
I would hope so. Yeah.
What about the argument that when you became an author, you became a public figure and you signed up for this?
So even public figures didn't sign up. So you're signing up to be able to block people. Like, that's just, if you go ahead and attack somebody, you're signing up to be blocked by them. Like, it's not like we have these fake ass rules where it's like, oh, if I ever gave you $1, I get to verbally abuse you whenever I want.
Right.
Like, it's just an
Yeah, I
asinine
don't.
take.
I mean, I lived in LA, and I mean, like, I don't understand that concept of like that. Again, did they sign in their contract to become a movie star? Did that say I can now verbally be abused by everybody and sit and smile? Like, I have to
Yeah.
take it. I can't fight back. I can't,
Mhm.
why is that? Again, how we treat somebody that you're up here, so I can tear you down and make you feel like crap because it makes me feel better. And you have to sit there and take it because you're out there in the public eye.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to attack back the reader for having an opinion. Of course, that's their opinion, but I'm going to take steps to being like, I don't want to be part of this. I'm going to untag myself. I don't want to, because my mental health, my writing, everything can like cusp off that if I'm already having like a mentally low day. And a lot of us do fight with depression, with imposter syndrome, with a lot of different things. So sometimes it will roll off me, and some days, I mean, it cripples me so much that I can't even breathe. Like, I'm like, I'm just gonna, walk away from this business kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just, so you have to, to take, to be mad at anybody that wants to healthily take themselves out of a situation makes me unbelievable. That to me is a person that wants then you to feel that pain. They want you to stay in that space and suffer.
They want to,
like,
no. I have to say, a lot of the people play innocent, like, oh, I didn't know it was going to upset you.
Yeah.
If you're being mean, even if you're using it, like the most current thing is she used a trending sound. Well, the trending sound was mean.
Yeah.
No. Well, and again, I've heard people going, well, they should, be there to be criticized. They should hear they're different, not personally, like our, books and stuff. You know what? When
we don't have to, period.
Yeah. Like,
full stop. I don't have to read a single negative review. That's what we have editors
for. Like, that's what we have editors for. That's what we have, we've already heard tons of stuff to make like this book hopefully better and stuff like that. And, again, once we put it out, we understand we put it out in that space, and you can be like, I don't like that book. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. But when you become,
when
like,
you feel
have to tell that
for the author, you're like, the author needs to hear my review. No, we don't. Stop. I don't read a single review, and I don't have any desire to. I write the books that I love. I love it. I publish it. You go ahead and say whatever you want about it, but you don't have any entitlement for me to hear it. Like, I'm just not interested. It's not my thing, because I'm going to keep fucking moving. I employ 12 people. I have a lot of things to do. Hearing somebody else's opinion on my book, it's not a top priority for me, because there's so much going on.
Keyword there, opinion. That's the problem, is that somebody's yum could be somebody's yuck, and somebody, like, why we, again, with the arts, feel like our opinion is fact when
it's not.
I could hate, a certain type of art or something like that, but that, like, modernistic, whatever, somebody's favorite, like, why do we always have to like equal, like, this was just crap or this was awful? And you're like, okay, to you it was, to somebody else, whatever moment, it could have been not maybe the best written or something, but maybe it hit somebody that they just loved the story. They didn't look at the editing or the writing. They just fell in love with that story. So it's just like, you know what, move on. Move on.
And
after
after 3 years of therapy, there are like two things that stick with me. And the first is, there is no one thing that will please everybody at one time. And wait, hold on. What is it? One person can never be pleased every time, and everyone can never be pleased at one time. So there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like it. And then the other thing is, and this is my goal, be so confident in what I'm doing and where I am in life that anybody else's opinion cannot shake me. And that's just where I am. And like, if people don't like it, they don't have to. That's for them, not for me. I am going to continue in my confidence doing what I think is best for myself, my highest good, for the people around me, the people that I'm supporting and building an empire with. And if you don't like it, you don't have to. And I'm just going to keep fucking moving. And if you want to try to stop me, to force me to hear you, I'm just going to block you and roll over your dead corpse. Like I'm not going to be stopped, babe. Like, so don't try.
The McDonald's workers are rolling over now.
So that's a good segue into my next question. How do you both feel about reader demands? That is, your cover should be this way. Your next story should be this. Why don't you write this couple?
I love taking opinions in, and I have a ton of different covers and different options for different readers. I
But
now
there's
have
a difference between demand and opinion.
Yeah. So everybody that gives me a demand, I'm like, that's a nice opinion. And then I consider what, like, because I am in my own space. I hear what you're saying. I accept where you are in life and what your opinion is, and I'll see if I can roll with it. And it doesn't matter what attitude or whatever they're coming to me with, because some people were very rude about the ad covers, and other people were very just, I don't feel comfortable with that. Right. And either way, I heard and I saw what I could do to make it better. So I just try not to take offense to anything, and I hear it and I keep it moving. If somebody deliberately tries to like incite hate or violence against me, I'll block them. But like every day I get somebody who says something where they're showing their ass, and I'm just like, that's for you, my love. Like, good luck with the responses to this comment. And I just keep it going.
Because your readers will take care of them.
They do. Oh, they do.
Again, I think all of us, we listen, we're hearing it. I mean, I think they don't think we hear as much as we see
do.
and we hear.
Yeah.
But we do. But again, if it doesn't click something inside of me, if they tell me, oh, there's a character, or I want to hear somebody else's story, like Ash is a perfect example of it one time clicking and going, okay, actually, yes, I see his story progressing, where I've heard other people that I was like, no, their story's done. Like, or there's nothing there, so, and book covers can be the same. We always want to listen to readers, because book covers are like what buys the book, what makes people intrigued to get into that story. So if there's, I at first was totally not against, I just didn't like the illustrated, and now I've fallen totally in love with it. Now it's probably on its way out because I finally like it. But so we're constantly trying to adapt and like absorb what you guys say and give it back. But there's a line, no matter what, this is our art, and we're gonna give it out the way that it, like, to me, it's a story. The characters come how they are. So when somebody, I've had several people come to me and saying like, oh, you should write this type of character, or I've seen this, I think and I'm like, that story, I'm sure there's an author that already does that and is brilliant at it. That's, unless that person comes to me and tells me, yes, I need a story. No, go. But there's tons of authors out there that probably already do that.
And if you read a book, you'll know that it was forced. That the author forced that. To me,
I feel you would be.
And it wasn't organic, and they weren't excited about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just to go back to some of our earlier comments with like people who are being cruel because they want to be cruel, or they want views or followers or whatever, even when I block them, like, it's not out of a place of like hate or like I wish poorly. Like, I genuinely hope the best for a lot of people who I block, where I'm just like, oh, I don't think this, like, I just don't see it ending well for their own mental health to participate in that kind of behavior, or like something might be going on with them. So if you get blocked by somebody, like, I genuinely just, like, I try not to take anything to heart or take anything personally. Like, I just block because I don't have the time to give it energy. And the kind of energy I would be giving it is like, it's probably going to end up being in bad faith because the comments are in bad faith. And at this point in my life, like, I'm not interested in that.
Unfortunately, once we start sticking up for ourselves, we get a backlash usually, because they'll perceive it as bad faith of like, how dare you say this? We have our opinion. And there was a TikTok, somebody that said like, we cannot punish, authors saying like, we don't want them in our space, and then mad when they're not in our space, because you can't demand that. That's our opinion. You don't have a right to judge my opinion, and then pull us in and then get mad at us for being like, we're not supposed to be in here. This is your space, So
I'm just straight up existing. Like, wherever I go is where I ended up. Like, let me live.
Right now, me just like, I'm just getting through the day. I'm like, woohoo!
And that brings me to my next question that I had. Look at me with all the questions today.
Yay.
Proud of myself. Anyway, let's talk about what are reader spaces. Where are reader spaces? Just for readers that maybe authors should not encroach on. And what are spaces for everyone else that are like readers of that author, like reader groups.
Well,
and
to
things
me,
like that.
any TikTok I'm scrolling through that happens to be book talk and they're talking about books or something, that's not my space. If they just happen to bring up, let's say my book or a friend's book or whatever it is, but I'm not tagged in it, that I just keep scrolling. Actually, good or bad, I keep scrolling because I don't want
But
to
you're
know.
also a reader.
Yeah,
so
that's
is
I
that
was gonna
your space as well?
Well, I was gonna say I disagree because if I like something, I like something, and I'm not gonna like hide a portion of my human being because you don't
But
want
if
to see
they're
me as like a
no,
reader.
no, no.
So
If they're
yeah,
on TikTok, they're talking
yeah,
about your book.
yeah.
You
Oh
think you have a
yeah,
right to
that.
opinion? Honestly, I feel I wouldn't
I
have a
just
right to.
comment heart, heart, heart. I do, like
Oh,
and
if
then
they
I
tag
yeah.
me,
Even
and
if they
it's
don't
a
tag
good.
me, or if I see
Okay.
somebody who I'll be like, I love that book. I've
Yeah.
posted recommendations of other authors before. I show my book mail. I went to the Curiosity Shop in Pennsylvania, and they had like a blind date with a book, and I opened it up and like I'm gonna do a review for it. I'm like, I'm gonna be a whole ass human being, which includes being a reader, and like I'm in
But
some
that's your
readers groups and
space.
stuff. So, but
Yeah.
isn't that like I am surrounded in readers in that moment, right? Because I'm
Right.
posting and I'm inviting that conversation. And then I see other people's content and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I see libraries, like people posting their libraries. I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. I see different
That's
renditions.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to comment where I comment. If a reader is posting a critical review of mine, like I'm not in my street team group. I don't participate in that. I don't participate in my ARC groups because I want them to be authentic. But if I see something posted, like I'm gonna XOXO, thank you so much, heart, heart,
Okay, but
heart.
if it was bad.
If it's bad, I just swipe. I'm like, oh, they didn't
Okay,
like
so
it.
we're on the same
Yeah.
stage. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all still
If it's a
real people that
negative,
scroll. Yeah.
Right.
exactly. If it's a negative review, I'm like, oh, that book wasn't for them. Whether it's my book or somebody else. What I don't like is like the moral high grounds of like these books were fucking awful and I hate like when but I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like they start it like
This
that and they
is
state it
porn.
like that. Yeah. Well, they started like that for
Yeah.
the views because I think
Yeah.
they know that if they like go in the extremes, it's gonna get
Yeah.
and
They're
I'm
like
like, I'm
popular
just
books I hated. And you're
yeah,
like, so you're like,
exactly.
ooh,
That
yeah,
was on trend like a year ago.
yeah,
It was like every other post was like
still
that.
is.
And I was like, I
It was
can't.
awful.
Okay, well, I guess I'm not interested enough to where I don't see it anymore. I like sunshines and rainbows. I am in my
Same.
attraction and manifestation
Yeah.
era. I am doing love, 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 love. So what I love is what I engage with. And that does include some what I would think are reader spaces, but I try to do so from my reader side, as opposed to like, I have seen authors do this. I do not agree with authors doing this. When there's a review for a book saying you should read this and then they recommend their own book or something like that. Like that is
Yeah.
something I don't like. I think you're going into that space from your author mindset of selling as opposed to like, oh, like have I read that book before? Do I like that book or do I like that kink? Like engaging as a reader. Um, so I think as long as you're being authentic and genuine and there for like the purpose of that person's creation, and they want to share a book with you, like if you're open to reading that book, I think it's okay to engage. But I just don't engage with the negative in any form,
Yeah.
not even just in book talk. I'm not
I've never been a
interested.
negative.
Yeah.
So
Like,
my question came from about a week or two ago that there was a big hullabaloo, of course, there usually is.
There always is every other
Yeah.
week.
hey,
That
most dramatic
a
talk.
lot of
Yeah.
people believed that social media as a whole was a reader space, and going into author reader groups was a reader space, and the author shouldn't have an opinion on what is going on in their reader groups.
That's the
But see,
dumbest. These
the
are like those
yeah.
fake ass rules. You know how they make these like fake fucking rules all the time? And it's like, you're not allowed. I'm sorry, who told you that? Was it your mother?
Yeah.
She's wrong. Is she in jail? Like, I'm so over these fake fucking rules of like, no, 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 we're going to do what we want. And if you don't like it, you're in the wrong.
Well, they make them
No,
so they can work it to what
Yeah.
they want.
we're allowed to have boundaries.
If it's my group, like
Mhm.
I'm the one that started, like the Stacey Squad. No, I'm in there, them
Yeah.
bashing me or something, I'm gonna be like, hey, hello. But if it's
Yeah.
like a reader privately made a group to talk about my books or something, no, I probably don't even know about it, and I'd
Yeah.
like to keep it that way. So there's different spaces. If you know the author, this is their group on Facebook. No, yeah, to bash them, that's horrible. And, you know, I hope they do stick up for themselves.
Yeah.
But
But
to
all
me,
of
if
social media is not a reader space. It
That's-
can't be. It's a
How
person
could-
space.
Literally, how could it be? That's like, again, like some of these ideas, I think they just don't want there to be any boundaries that could hinder
Yeah.
what they feel like doing to other people. And it's like, you need
nobody
to
wants
accept what I want.
consequences.
Yeah.
Right.
They will all
Yeah.
want to do what they want to do and have no consequences for it. You know,
yeah.
they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be,
And
you know, so
again,
it's like,
I do feel like it comes from this like youthfulness and also like a space of fear and
I see
anger almost.
way too many older people doing it.
Oh,
I don't
do you?
feel
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing
Yeah.
an uptick in readers defending authors and saying,
Yeah.
why
yeah.
are you treating them like this? Why are you tagging
I have
them? Why are
seen
you
many,
saying
and
that they don't? And I
Mhm.
think that there is definitely a change afoot.
There's always a tipping point whenever anything happens. And I do think that we're on a place of a good tipping point. Like people are exhausted from
Yes.
outrage culture.
Negativity. Yeah.
Yeah,
How can
outrage
you be
culture
so
in
angry all
general.
the time and not have it
Exactly.
affect you?
And how can you be
Yes.
so unkind to things and say that you want change while actively like harassing people or bullying people or like or spreading misinformation? It's like none of that is progressive.
And they,
like,
and you know, if it happened to them, they would be crying. They would be like, "Oh my God!"
Oh,
you
they
know,
would just
but
be a
They
victim.
don't seem to see it. Yeah.
So these are people who don't see accountability as like acknowledge, apologize, rectify, move on better. They see accountability as destroying somebody's life and like you need to take what I'm giving to you, which is why they don't want boundaries. And it's like that's not real life. Like it's not real life.
And at the end of the day, when you're gone from this world, no one's going to remember how many likes you got on that post.
That's so true.
Sorry, but they're not.
I mean, what was it? Was it Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner with the baby pic? I will know the most liked Instagram post was one of the Jenners, I believe, who had a baby. So they went off of Instagram for 9 months, posted a picture, and it's the most liked picture. But the only reason I know that is because it emphasized the fact that if you don't post, it will show it was basically an algorithm thing. Is why I remember that. Anyway, there's your fun fact of the day that I don't even actually know what the truth is. So.
The least.
You're welcome.
No. They're going to cancel you for spread rumors now.
You are. I know, right? I'll have a drink in your honor. That's
No, but why we say this, why we, you know, we also know that like they have the right to say, you know, like I don't want people to come back and be like, you're telling us that we can't do this and this. I'm like, no, you have the right to do.
We actually haven't said anything that they can't do other than hurt without consequence. Like that's the thing is we haven't said that like go ahead, speak your truth on your platform, but if you feel that you're entitled to make sure someone hears it, that's where you're crossing a boundary. Like you're allowed to scream
once you hit that live post button, you are going to get back. You know, that's what I think people don't realize. It's like, I speak my truth and this is my opinion, but they don't realize that a million people just saw that and they have also the same right to state their opinion back.
And it doesn't always go the way you think it's
going. It usually doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's why I'm like,
everybody, we all come from different lives. We have different perspectives. We're in different emotional states at the time. And I know that I have seen posts and felt like very upset by them. And then after thinking about things or like taking a day, seeing it again and being like, oh, I think that what they really meant is coming from this space. And like sometimes people do need a little bit of time, but you know what people don't give you is time. And nor do they take it.
Doubt.
Oh, never.
And benefit of the doubt. And you're like, okay, if you know me at all or listen to me or something like that, and I post something that you know, immediately maybe try to think what you know, like that I'm not trying to be evil, like, or I didn't like, oh my God, she offended. I'm like, you know, it's just the benefit of the doubt, like crazy here that they'll immediately people attack. And you're like, but that's not what they
just
meant,
the acknowledgement that like people go through things in their life. And that's why I don't feel badly about blocking people because I'm like, they might be going through something. They might be learning something. This is a them situation. I can't be there for them right now because I literally I don't fucking know who they are. And, and I don't have the time for this. But like, what was I going to say? Something about just acknowledging like, oh, right now is a hard time. People are going through
Mhm.
things. Maybe I
The
should
benefit
show
of the doubt, yeah.
kindness. Yeah. Or just
Yeah.
be kind, right? Like that's one thing that I really do think, maybe I'm crazy. I might be crazy, but I do think that we're heading towards a new era where there will be more kindness and more
I hope so.
softness. I think
God.
that we're there. I honestly, I truly do. I think the stigma against mental health is going to lessen and wane and hopefully disappear. The stigma against sex positivity, I think, is also taking strong strides forward. It might
Yeah.
take a little bit more time just because sexism and misogynism and you know,
Well,
it
it's
takes the
trying to
whole
rear
world.
back because
It is trying. It's not
it's
going
like in
to
the
succeed. It's going
no,
away. Yeah.
it's definitely in the last like that last struggles for like
Latch
the dead like the
ditch ever. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and so it's coming
Gasping
back
for
and they're saying
air.
a lot of young boys are
Mhm.
and so I'm hoping though that's in there's majority of the people growing up now are changing that view
They are.
instead of becoming that view
Yeah.
because it's just there's so much
Yeah.
like can we all stop being awful and mean to each
Mhm.
other? Can we
I
all
think,
like
It's
yeah,
exhausting.
it's exhausting.
just
It's toxic and it's also contagious because
Yeah.
when you
is.
see somebody doing that, sometimes you want to like you want to stop them from doing that. And it's all in bad faith. Typically, there's nothing that you can say or do to stop people from hurting somebody else a lot of time because the last thing they'll do is acknowledge that they did something
Mhm.
wrong. Like, so
Yeah.
they're just going to keep throwing things until something sticks. And then you're also the enemy and the devil and a Disney villain who needs to burn in hell. And it was all over like, there was a stick in their paperback or something, like something fucking stupid, and it turns into absolute dumpster fire. But yeah, I do think that the tipping point has already happened. And I think that we are moving towards a more progressive, more positive, kinder era where people are acknowledging that this kind of behavior isn't coming from a good place and it's not healthy and they want to help others. I'm hoping, I'm manifesting. That's what I think is going to happen.
I know I'm exhausted. I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll just make it happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a lot of us have taken ourselves out of that social media, as much. I've seen a lot of authors kind of step back a little bit because of the negativity, and when it
Yeah.
affects your
Which is
livelihood.
sad because but
Yeah.
being on social media, it's one of the blessings of being an author in this era. It
Mhm.
really is. Like I have a gratitude journal, and one of the things I wrote yesterday was the ease and accessibility of the world and just being online in general. And we're able to shout from the rooftop what we are, what we represent, what our books are, and share all of these books. And I truly believe that romance books are like helping to save the world. I don't care if that sounds dramatic. I think that it's literally true. Not only do I think, I have evidence to support like that as a fact that romance books are creating a positive impact on the world and moving us towards a happier, healthier place, and that they're filling a cultural gap that needed to be filled with sex education, sex positivity, and emotional well-being and health, as well as a conflict resolution in some of our darker themed books. But
You need to take a breath.
I just want to get it all out there. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
She had to get that TED talk in there. Like,
I did. I had to get on my little soapbox to say that. But I not only do I think that that's happening, and do I think that like that is we're making that impact. I think that it's being recognized, and that other people are acknowledging that they want to hear those voices, they want to see those books, they want to know where can we get these, and they want to support it. So I love being online. I think it's just a matter of like wading through the dicks, like like you're in the pool, you're swimming, and occasionally there's just a penis that's coming at your face. You just got to know what to do with that. So just knock it, block it, just knock it away. It used to be offensive, it used to be enraging, it used to take up so much time out of your day. Now I'm just like, penis, like just moving through my area, swim into the deep end, exploring new depths. Yeah.
Snorkel gear.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate like I've seen so many more, people on social media standing up and saying, enough. Like, why we keep
this is
treating
not right.
authors this way? This is not right. And I like those are the people like I like and thank and do the love eyes, I'm like, thank you. We really see you and appreciate that you guys are standing up going, we've had enough too.
Yeah.
Because in no way, shape, or form are you to be their punching bag. There's no reason.
Yeah, no, we don't sign.
No.
Nobody
Even if they
signs
don't
up to be
like
a
your
punching
book,
bag.
there's no
Nobody.
reason.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And
Like
I
you go
feel
the
like you should stand up for yourself too. Like
Yeah.
that's not cool.
Yeah.
like you're in a cranky mood and you go to the grocery store and there's something not, the person there working isn't your punching bag. Like, I think that in this world we get angry and everybody's like, it's your fault. I can be angry, and you're in a place that situation, but that person doesn't deserve that either. Like,
Yeah.
we've all got to.
And you're allowed to
personal
feel your
responsibility.
emotions, but you have to take responsibility for your emotions. Other people
Yeah.
aren't you shouldn't force other people to feel your emotions. You have to learn how to deal with them yourself. And I do think that that's something.
Sorry, Colleen.
Yeah.
When I'm in a bad mood.
I feel my Yeah, I think that that's something our culture doesn't teach us. It's something our schools don't teach us. It's something that's not inherent in a lot of like parental upbringings until the most recent generations. It was like a bury it down deep. And it explodes and it's not healthy. So I do think that we're moving towards a more happy, enlightened, like mental health forward. I think it's here. I honestly do. I just decided that's the timeline I'm supposed to be on.
Willow decided.
Says.
Yes.
So
you guys,
all good.
yeah. You're all welcome. Now that is where we live. That is the new reality.
Willow's utopia.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait through any more dicks.
No more dicks.
Oh,
only the ones that we want.
No, we're waiting through. Waiting through the cocks now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not little dicks. Little penises.
Okay, so I think that this is a perfect one for our first comeback.
Ending on canceling readers and penises.
I know.
Good job, guys. Welcome back.
Yeah. Canceling readers, maybe penises.
Get my snorkel gear.
Yeah. Leave any comments below with questions you have, topics that you would love for us to cover. I think this year we want to dive deep into more author insight. And some more of what's going on in the industry and our opinions and breaking down
especially the industry.
hurdles.
There's so much changing too. Yeah.
There's a ton changing for the good and for the struggles and for the bad. But lots of good things ahead. So like, follow, share, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, especially if you hate it. Come on, let's get us going viral.
Again, get us viral, at least if you, So thank you.
And tag us.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for being with us 1 year, and hopefully we'll be here another year.
And another and a decade. Let's do that.